I got a big goddamn problem with the news. You ready for this? The news is completely manipulated. Everything you hear every single day is designed by corporate media to do one thing and one thing only.
Jesus.
To keep you living in fear.
Oh, fear?
Total fear. Fear so you'll go out and you'll spend money on things. Things you probably don't even need. Things you probably already have six of, so that their advertisers will keep buying ads on their stations. Tell you one more thing. You ready for this? I'll do this all day, man.
يا معشر الجن والإنس, O assembly of mankind and the jinn, إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا. If you wish to embark on the effort to traverse the samawat, go ahead, proceed with the effort. Go ahead, fanfudu, go ahead, proceed with the effort. And I want to say, you cannot penetrate the Dajjal. And therefore you cannot penetrate the Dajjal's strategy. His ultimate strategy. And this is the age of the Dajjal today. You cannot do it unless and until you are someone living in this world, but also accessing other worlds, traversing other worlds. The normal way in which we traverse other worlds is with spiritual insight. And then people will say, he probably has a jinn talking to him. He probably has a jinn talking to him. And then the Salafi will come around and say, only Allah knows the future. Take him around and say, and throw him in the garbage bin. Only Allah knows the future. The normal way of traversing the Samawat for scholarship is through spiritual insight. And spiritual insight will only come when you do your homework. You've got to do your homework. وَأَلَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. You've got to plan if you want to read. You've got to use the intellect, the rational faculty first, before the inner sight can deliver knowledge. The two have to come together in what the Quran calls مَجْمَعُ الْبَحْرَيْنِ. And so they went up and down for 300 years. They were in this world of space and time, morning and evening, morning and evening. And they were in another world of space and time because they were the same age. So it was constant movement back and forth, constant movement back and forth. Can we do it? Of course. Did your Prophet not say to you, As-salatu mi'rajul mu'min? Have you forgotten that? That salat is the mi'raj of the mu'min. Salat is the mi'raj of the mu'min.
I mentioned to you self-consciousness, self-directed will, creative intellect. But now I have to mention one more. In Akhirul Zaman, the model is Khidr alayhi salam. And Iqbal is referring to a Khidr when he said, and if you'll allow me to quote the verse in Urdu, it's not many verses I know in Urdu, but I know this one. हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है, बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीद आवर पैदा. That it is very difficult, says Iqbal, for that person to be born, that sage to be born, who sees with the noor of Allah. There's something called sight, and then there's internal sight. And if you take the first two letters of internal and you add it to sight, instead of internal sight, you get insight. Insight. So the one who sees with internal, intuitive, spiritual insight is the leader of Iqbal. And the model is Khidr alayhi salam. I'm speaking to you with love wherever you are in the world. your methodology is defective. The Sufi methodology recognizes insight, recognizes the capacity to see with nur and therefore to provide a new explanation. That's the Sufi methodology. And I got that from my teacher, who was a Sufi sheikh. I'm going to come back to that in a moment, inshallah. The spiritual quest is at the heart of nur. Nur. If you pursue the spiritual quest, then Allah can choose to give you nur. But you got to do your homework, because you'll find the most learned of all men at the place where the two oceans meet. And what are the two oceans? Majma'ul Bahrain. The two oceans are the ocean of knowledge that is externally acquired. So you've got to study politics. You've got to study international politics. You've got to study history. You've got to study economics. You've got to study international economics. You've got to study international monetary economics. You've got to study comparative religion. You've got to study science, philosophy of science, philosophy of history. All of these disciplines, that is the ocean of knowledge externally acquired. If you don't plant, you cannot reap. And then there is the ocean of knowledge internally received. يَهْدِ اللَّهُ لِنُورِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah gives His nur to whomsoever Allah gives. And then comes that difficult task of bringing these two oceans of knowledge together, integrated into a harmonious whole. You need a master. You need an absolute master to do that. And that was the teacher that I had. May Allah bless him. Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari Rahimahullah, who died in Karachi, Pakistan, is buried in Karachi, Pakistan. He was my teacher. It is because I got that from him that I could do this humble work that I'm now doing. But I pray that Allah may guide my students around the world. Imran Hussain is not important. This name is not important. This mission is important. This knowledge is important. This struggle is important. One man dies, another man takes his place.
The Sufi, our brother, the Sufi has to be reminded that when you see with the nur of Allah, then you can be blessed with ru'ya, vision, insight. Every scientist in the world knows that all major discoveries in science came after you had done your homework through insight. And if we had that insight, if we had that ru'ya, then as Sufis you would have been able to recognize that the paper that you have in your wallet and that you are using to buy and to sell, it is shaitan who gave it to you. Shaitan was working for Dajjal. And the paper money that you have in your pocket is Dajjal's money in your pocket. And so it's time to wake up. If you say you are Sufi, it's time to wake up and ask, well, how come I was taken for a ride? How come I never recognized what was happening in the world of money? How come I never recognized what was happening in the political system? That the Khilafah state was replaced by this godless creature, built on shirk, which says that sovereignty no longer belongs to Allah. He is not Al-Malik. The state is now Al-Malik. How come we didn't see that? And you went and you voted in elections for Tom, Dick and Harry and Benazir and Khalida and whoever they were. Like cattle. The Salafi insists that there is no new knowledge of the deen. No. That we are not allowed to interpret anything in the Quran and anything in the Ahadith differently from that which has come to us from Allah and His Messenger and from the Aslaf. And that is a difficult stumbling block. You are blind. You are blind to the tracks which are being laid for you in the modern age. You are following the Aslaf externally. Why don't you look at the Aslaf internally? Did the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam not say, fear the firasa, that wisdom which from internal, intuitive, spiritual insight. Fear the firasa of the mu'min. He sees with the nur of Allah. Question one was, what is Islam? And question two was, what is Iman? And then question three was, what is Al-Ihsan? Al-Ihsan is an ta'abud Allah ka'annaka tarah. That you should worship Allah, that you should serve Allah as though you were seeing Him. But it is not possible to see Him with these eyes. Lan tarani, says Allah in the Quran. Lan tarani, not with these eyes, you can never see me. But yes, with the heart you can see. فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارِ, says Allah in the Quran. It's not these eyes that are blind. وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبُ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. What is blind is the heart which is inside your chest. When faith enters into the heart, then nur enters into the heart. And then the heart can see what otherwise cannot be seen. That is Sufism. That is Tasawwuf. And that is the highest stage of religion. Personally, I wish the word Sufism had never been invented. My life would have been easier. That we never had the word Tasawwuf, my life would have been easier. All that we needed is Al-Ihsan, to be able to see with the heart that worships Allah what otherwise cannot be seen. The Salafi will one day become a Sufi, because the Aslaf were people of Al-Ihsan. And so if a Salafi is indeed a true Salafi, he will one day become a Sufi, meaning people of Al-Ihsan. I wish that the word Tasawwuf had never been invented. That the word Sufism, which is an English word, had never been invented. Life would have been easier. We didn't need these terminology. When we had the word Al-Ihsan. Al-Ihsan is to worship Allah and to serve Allah as though you're seeing Him with the eye of your heart. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَى. If you have not reached that stage as yet where you can see with the internal eye and worship Him, then at least this you should recognize that He is seeing you. And so the heart can see, but the heart can only see when there is faith. And the heart can see only when there is nur in the heart. And in Ayatul Nur, which is ayah number 35 of Surah An-Nur, Surah number 24, Allah says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء. Allah guides to His nur whomsoever Allah chooses. So it is Allah to choose. No, we can't choose. There is no way by which we can learn and get the nur. It is when Allah chooses a servant, He will give to that servant nur. And that nur He'll be able to see what otherwise cannot be seen. Ittaqu firasat al-mu'min falahu yanzuru bin nur Allah. And Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam he warns. Fear, the firat, the wisdom built on internal, intuitive, spiritual insight. Fear the firasa of that moment. Fear it. Who when he sees with the nur of Allah. What is the status of that nur? Let me take the discussion one step further, and what an important step it is. In Sahih Bukhari, Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam made this stunning statement. He said that Nabuwa, or prophethood, is comprised of 46 different parts. And he said, after me, nothing remains of Nabuwa, or prophethood, in the world except one part. And so there is one part of Nabuwa still remaining in the world. What is that one part of Nabuwa still remaining in the world? He said it is ru'ya. Ru'ya sadiqa, ru'ya saliha. Ru'ya is that which the heart sees. And so there is knowledge which comes and is still coming to this day through that one last part of Nabuwa still remaining in the world.